Go on.
It's awesome. I opened up for James Brown once.
Where was that?
Really?
Yeah, at the Canocti Harbor Resort in Clear Lake, California. And I was too, the guy, I love him so much, I was too afraid to meet him afterwards. I also opened up for Ray Charles once in New York City when I was living there. And I was on stage and the audience starts chanting, "Ray, Ray, Ray," and I didn't know what to do. And
You're like, my name's Tom.
I needed the money really bad, and I couldn't leave the stage. So finally, it took a while, and I finally went, people, Ray is in the shower. I didn't just walk off the street. Mr. Charles knows I'm here. He asked me to do a couple minutes while he made himself pretty for you people. And don't worry, I'm not going to do 1 minute past my allotted time because I want to see Ray Charles just as bad as you do. And then they clapped and they shut up and they let me finish. And I walked off stage and Ray Charles was standing there and he goes, "Am I pretty enough to go on?"
That's a great story. Tom Rhodes, everybody, the headliner for the Funny Bone. Go see him 2 shows tonight, 2 shows tomorrow over in West Des Moines. Well, thank you for being part of our show this morning.
Is that it? What?
That's it. You're done. Goodbye.
Okay. No, you're stuck here till
you're stuck here for
9
quite
o'clock,
some time.
We had 40 minutes to fill. You're stuck.
Great.
So you're kind of like a traveling expert as far as going across the country.
Yeah, I just spent a month in Asia, and the knowledge nugget I have brought back for you from Asia is that the most beautiful women in the world are Thai men.
I've heard about the vacation opportunities in Southeast Asia. Yeah.
Vacation opportunities.
Yeah. Vacation packages, if you will, to
there's comedy's really huge everywhere. So there's a great tour of China. I just did all over China, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur.
I've never heard that. We have, I mean, lots of comedians come on the show, and they all do cruises, of course, and
I
they
don't
travel
do cruises.
around.
I would never do a cruise.
And why is that? Because most of them, I've heard that it's like a prison. You're kind of stuck there. And
there's kind of maybe cruises are changing and getting cool now that older people are dying, but there's a real. There's a certain kind of act that does a cruise ship. So that I would never want to be branded.
What did you think of the Chinese audiences?
Chinese audiences are great, and people go, "How do you perform in China?"
I was just going to ask you, what kind of comedy
I bring a
are you
rake
doing?
on stage, and I step on it, and it hits me, and they think it's hilarious.
Universal.
But I have to do it over and over. It's a really long hour.
And no marks. I'm impressed.
There are like you play in Hong Kong, and it's mostly banking people, and then Beijing is government embassy people, and then Shanghai is artistic people of every flavor. But you got international expatriates from everywhere: Italy, Germany, France, Switzerland, and we won the lottery when it comes to the language, because English is the international language of business. But also, your Chinese people that are there, a lot of them were educated in U.S., Canada, Australia, or they're from those places.
But does your routine change at all, or does it kind of stay the
yeah,
same
a little
across
bit. Yeah,
the
you have
world?
to, when you play different countries, you have to modify it a little bit. But what you lose in references they don't get, you gain in observations.
There you go.
So because I have a small brain and deal in convenient stereotypes, when I think of China, I think of air pollution and big propaganda posters on the wall. What is life like there? I'm sure you spent time wandering around. And
I've been going there for 15 years, so you're right on the pollution, but the propaganda posters, a little bit, but not, I don't know. I think Russia, Dubai is worse. Dubai, there's all these, all the billboards are of the king of the United Arab Emirates, and you drive down the highway to go to Abu Dhabi, and it's not Kentucky Fried Chicken, Pepsi, it's these big billboards of photos of the king, and you're like, why doesn't the guy just get on Facebook?
So it's like a Kim Jong-un type of thing.
Yeah.
Where his face is everywhere.
But China is really cool. It has changed a lot in the last 15 years because they're getting prosperity. So like Beijing used to just be like, millions of bicycles, and now it's, lots of cars and traffic.
And air pollution.
And air pollution.
So
if you could go to one place, because you've obviously traveled the world quite a bit, if you could go to one place, where would you go?
Des Moines, Iowa.
Well, obviously, besides Des Moines, Iowa.
Keokuk.
Keokuk. Yeah. Explain that one.
Just because the state loops down to make room for it.
It's like we tried to grab it and take it in. Which country hates us the most that you've been to?
Canada.
Really?
Not in Canada, but in England, like a lot of the Canadian comedians and Canadian people, for some reason, have a lot of aggression towards us.
Is it because we make?
I was in Ireland, and some Canadian woman told me I was stereotypically American. So I bombed her capital and took possession of her oil reserve.
Good for you.
Yeah, that's what we do.
That's what
the
we
best
do.
way to handle it.
That's what we do.
You strike me as someone who's never seen you perform as someone who doesn't hold back much. So recently, Jerry Seinfeld, and you know this, said, you know, I don't like playing colleges anymore because the kids are so uptight and worried about being politically correct and not offending anybody. I just don't do them anymore. Would you agree with that sentiment?
Yeah, well, but Jerry Seinfeld, the joke that he was talking about was something where he made some reference that he was flipping through his phone like a gay French king. It's not that funny. And that was the joke that upset people. But colleges are uptight. Colleges used to be like in the 60s and 70s, like the cutting edge of American culture, but not anymore. Now it's very bland and very, very politically correct, and anyone's feelings get hurt. I don't know. They need robotic comedy.
There you go. Robots.
Well,
Comedians that are robots.
I want to get more into what folks are going to see tonight and tomorrow night at the Funny Bone.
And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But first, we want to get you there. Woo! So how about a chance to win tickets to tonight's show to see Tom Rhodes? Just call now, just like you would on the radio, 515-283-2323.
And it won't be the lecture that we're having now.
283-2323. Call in now for a chance to win tickets to see this guy, Funny Bone headliner at the Funny Bone in West Des Moines, Tom Rhodes. More of him coming up next on Great Day.
No,